Yeah, something I was thinking about with this when I first thought of emotion flow is that there it's kind of in the water of our culture to think if emotions are flowing, they're big and intense. It has to be this really big thing to feel it. Feel it. And while I'm listening to you, Lindsay, it's helping me refine and a little bit more what I was thinking about working with the vocabulary list and starting to appreciate that the way to come in softer with what's actually going on, the nuance. And I like to think of all my emotions as they're all personalities that are in there. They're people. Sometimes they're villages. Sometimes they're the committee. Sometimes they're the and I realize in that pile up, there's usually one that's pretty strong, but there's a lot others because they all are working together that have something to say about the situation as well. But I just can't hear it because I'm really fixated on there's a loud alarm, there's a thick thread going on, and I must fix that one first. And fix. See what I did? Fix it. Caught myself there because they're all bringing information, right? They're it's not that they're just bringing information into me. So it's I'm gaining a whole new appreciation for building the granularity, the nuance, and really feeling my unique way that my system is relating to what's happening. And it gives a better sense for me to tune in then and to the combination of what's happening and appreciate when I'm listening to other people. Like, okay, I might just hear the main drum of anger going on, but because I'm appreciating so much more myself, I can hold space then while I'm listening to others and feel how their flow is going. So it's just this kind of this cool way to be with the flow. Yeah.
Right? It's almost, I feel like I completely relate to what you're saying. And I feel like I have x-ray vision a lot of the time, being able to see through these complaints or the emotions that people are presenting on the surface and to look below the surface and say, oh, well, you're acting angry, but I imagine that you're angry because you have to let go of this idea that you had or this position that you had that you really wanted,
Mhm.
right? Or maybe you're acting really apathetic, but that's because um, you're angry that your roommate is not living up to his part of the bargain. So, I mean, that's not only because of my own understanding of my emotions. I mean, it's also because of my understanding of the 6 aspects of empathy and just perspective taking. But I feel like we have this because we have this ability to know ourselves and to recognize the emotions in ourselves and to understand, like, oh, when I'm feeling this, I am also feeling all these other things. Then it's much easier to kind of overlay that onto other experiences, other situations in my life where I can see, um, oh, well, if you're feeling this, then maybe you're also experiencing some other things, or maybe there's some other emotions behind it that are um, pushing you to feel this way or to act this way,
Mhm.
based on what I've noticed in the past and my prior relationship with this person, sort of a thing. I mean, I want to point out that we all have unique relationships with our emotions and that the emotional structure within us is different. It's different for each person, right? Depending on how we grew up, how we tend to work with our emotions. It's just
Yeah.
unique to each person, right? I mean, you can have 3 people who grew up in the same family and they can all work really differently with their emotions depending on who they are and like what they paid attention to and what really affected them as children.
Mhm.
So we all have our stories, right? Or, yeah, I guess our emotional journeys that we're going through, almost
Mhm.
regardless of what our circumstances were. But something I want to point out when we're bringing us back to the emotional vocabulary list is just talking about the vocabulary for soft or medium state and intense state emotions. Talking about it, we often don't even acknowledge or recognize that, oh, I'm feeling these soft state emotions I think, Jeanette, you were saying the only thing I recognize is when it was like really intense, right? So becoming familiar with what it feels like when you're feeling soft sadness, for example, is a great way to become aware of it when you're not feeling intense sadness, right? But just to be aware of it like from your day-to-day life. So some of the words for soft sadness are contemplative, disappointed, disconnected, distracted, grounded, listless, low, regretful, steady, and wistful. And so I imagine that I've definitely felt all those emotions before, all those aspects of sadness before, but it's not necessarily that I've connected them to sadness. And I want to point out too that, well, let's get complicated here. Some of these emotion words have other emotions in them, right? So disappointed, often that comes when you had an expectation, right? Like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted. There was my envy, or my jealousy, or I had some anger around this. So I mean, even in their soft state, our emotions are mixed. It's not just a chocolate cake. It's chocolate and strawberry and vanilla.
With some sprinkles too.
I've had the incredible opportunity to start learning horseback riding, more from communicating. And the reason I bring that up is because it's a very what it's in relationship with my emotions, and really trying to listen to how do I describe when I feel the gifts of my emotions, and really starting to look at their way that they're helping me be in an ethical and good relationship with this horse, keeping my fear in line, because I could get hurt and so could the horse. So how do I hold and learn all these things? So it's really flipped. It's also one reason why I'm tuning more into helping my emotions be with them and flow with them, and listen to how do I describe their gifts. And that's really made me start to investigate deeper. And like you said, Anshin, suddenly I'm starting to write my own vocabulary list. And then I'm finding these words. I'm like, oh, there's so many. Look at all the threads of the different ones in there. Like, it's really hard to tune into just a word, which just makes me love this work even more. It just makes me love it even more, because it's just so intricate and beautiful to start to recognize how this system and these emotions are here to help me. And the more I can be with them and be an ally with them and friend with them, then the better we can meet each situation and circumstance, and do a little better job. And when we make a mistake, that's okay too, because we've got shame on board. We've got good anger going on, and we've got, and nuances and soft flow happening. Woohoo! Yeah, if only, right? Till tomorrow morning when I get up, I go, well, hello, little mini pile-up. How are you? Yes, let's address this in a new way today.
Yeah.
Children.
No, that's so valuable. That's really helpful to hear.